Today, I'm going to talk to you about a topic that's really important to me, and that is the topic of influence and how people can be more influential. So, the subject of this topic is 5 ways to help build your influence. And I'm going to discuss 5 different things that I think might be useful to you when you're thinking about trying to become a more influential person. But what do I mean by influence? Well, I really mean your ability to influence other people, to influence the world around you. And it could be something that's useful for your career, for your general life, to support your family. It might be that you have an idea that you want to get out there and that you're frustrated that that idea isn't really getting to the people that you want it to get to because you don't have enough influence or you don't have the right sort of influence. So even though you're being very careful in the way that you craft your message, and even though you're incredibly passionate about this issue, you're just not really breaking through and being able to speak to as many people as you want to, or encourage people to take action on whatever it is that you're passionate about. So the 5 areas are likability, networks, personal branding, expertise, and authenticity. So, to start off with number one, likability. What do I mean by likability? I mean two main things. Firstly, I just mean simply, are you a likable person? Are you the sort of person who, when you come into a room, people are pleased to see you and to interact with you? Do you generally have a smile on your face? Are you generally the sort of person who will ask other people about the day they're having? Do you have some things that are interesting about you? Do you often have a story to tell or an anecdote? Do you try to see the world as a magical place and try to see the glass as being half full rather than half empty? Do you encourage sympathy in other people? So if there's something the matter with you, do people notice because you're a person that they want to support? And the other way around, if they're in trouble, do you help them? Are you a polite, thoughtful person? These are all things that might be likable, might make a person likable. You might be funny, you might be witty. There's a lot of different qualities there could be. But the second thing about likability is about finding common ground with other people so that if you went to a party and you were talking to someone, you'd have the ability to turn the conversation to something that they'd enjoy and they'd feel comfortable with. Perhaps you can find some common ground. You both like a particular sport, or you both like a particular band, or you both enjoy watching a particular film, or maybe it's something you're not interested in, but they are interested in, but you're willing to steer the conversation to a topic that they'll enjoy. These are some of the things that might make you a likable person. The next thing, and I'm just going to go quite quickly through these, is networks. And hopefully, this is quite an obvious one. If you have bigger networks, both online and offline, and crucially, if they're not just big networks, but strong networks, then you're going to have the ability to be more influential, both because you might have some other influential people in your networks, but also just by having a network of people who already know you and who already trust you is going to help you be more influential and to get your message out there. Number three is around personal branding. Now, a lot of people don't like the term personal branding. I think it's because they think it feels strange for them that they'd have a personal brand as if they were a bar of soap or a tube of toothpaste. But actually, we all have a personal brand, whether we like it or not. Whether you've just got a Facebook account online, or even if you don't have a Facebook account, that says something about your brand and how you want to be perceived and some of your qualities. And people make judgments about you, whether you like it or not. So it's better to try to control your personal brand, to use it to serve good, and to be able to strengthen it so that you can have the influence you want. So personal branding, thinking about how you come across as a brand, as an individual, is going to help your influence. Number four, which ties into this, is expertise. What are you seen as an expert in? What do other people see you as an expert in? What do they come to you with questions about? What do they say to you? Wow, how can you do that so quickly? How do you know that? How does that seem so easy for you? What are the things that make you an expert? And are you even an expert or perceived as an expert in the thing that you want to be? Are you working in one particular profession, but you want to be another? Are you a doctor, but you really want to be a train driver? Are you a train driver, but you really want to be a nurse? Whatever it is, you need to think about what type of expertise you want other people to prize about you. Then you want to project that as much as possible, try to be seen as an expert, and then that will help you to grow your influence. The last one is about authenticity. Now, being authentic and authenticity is quite a buzzword at the moment. If we think about people that we like, they're quite often authentic people. They're the type of people who seem to really mean what they say and seem to not have a massive difference between how they are in public and in private, how they are when they put a tweet out on Twitter and when you meet them in person. Those types of people are authentic people, and authentic leadership and an authentic way of influencing people are seen as very powerful and very important. So, are you authentic? Do you stick authentically to your beliefs? Do you come across as a true, whole, flawed human being? Or do you always feel that you're hiding lots of aspects about yourself, or you're trying to do things in a way to conform just because other people have told you that's the way to be, but that's not how you want to be? If you're not authentic, you're not going to be as influential as you could be. People are going to think that you're scamming them. People aren't going to trust you. But perhaps more importantly, in the long term, you're going to grind yourself down over time. You're going to make yourself feel that you're in a difficult situation because you've created out there in the public perception an inauthentic portrayal of who you are, and you really want to be able to show your authentic face. So, those are the 5 areas. We've got likability, networks, personal branding, expertise, and authenticity. And I'd argue is if you could look at each one of those 5 things, consider how you're doing on each one of those 5 things in your own life, and how there might be some paths to improvement for each of those 5 things, then you'll go some way to growing your influence and having more influence on the people around you and ultimately on the world. Thank you very much for listening.